Hi, second grade, and welcome to today's lesson about selecting and using metric tools. Just like when we were using rulers and yardsticks for inches, feet, and yards, we're going to be using centimeter rulers and meter sticks to measure and compare centimeter objects and meter length objects. But let's warm up our brain today with a problem of the day using coins. Sunil has 8 coins. The total value of his coins is 80 cents. What coins does Sunil have? Draw a picture to show the coins. Well, we're going to go in and we're going to look for important information. I see some of the important information is that he has 8 coins and that the total value is 80 cents. What coins does he have? Well, we're going to review that a quarter is 25, a dime is 10, a nickel is 5, and a penny is 1 cent. Which one would make the most sense to have a total of 80 cents if you could only use 8 of them? Well, 25 is too big, and I think dime makes the most sense by counting by 10. So I'm going to draw out 10 dimes, not 10 times, 8 dimes, with 10 cents in each of them, and count on. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and we get to, indeed, a total of 80 cents. It wants to know what coin does he have? Well, he's using dimes, just dimes. Our next problem is the tree in Cameron's front yard is 3 meters tall. How many centimeters tall is the tree? Well, I like to draw the tree as a way to get us started. 3 meters, I'm going to write that here. Remember, M is a way of saying meters, the shorthand of it. We know 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. So if we want to find out how many centimeters are in 3 meters, I'm just going to do 3 groups of 100. For me, this is the strategy I like to use because I can just count by hundreds and get the total. So I have 100, 200, 300, and that brings us to that 3 meters is the same as 300 centimeters. Look at the picture of the crayon. The length of the crayon is measured in centimeters. About how long is the crayon? Well, we're going to look at the crayon from end to end, starting on 0, and where does it land. It looks like this crayon lands about 9. Not quite 9 exactly, but pretty close to it. Closer to 9 than it is to 8. So let's look at our options. Oh man, 6 and 7 are too small, and when we're looking between 8 and 9, unlike on a clock, if it is closer to 9, it makes more sense to say about 9 centimeters. We're going to explain how an object measured in centimeters is different from an object measured in meters. So if you're measuring with centimeters, it's like using a ruler to measure in inches. It's going to be for a smaller object. So here's a centimeter ruler, smaller than what a meter stick would be, the equivalent to what a yardstick is to measuring compared to inches, or a ruler, I mean. So the centimeters and meters can be represented here. I would use a centimeter stick to measure something small, like a ladybug, and the meter stick to measure something large, like how tall my house is, or how large a bookcase is. It wouldn't make sense to measure something small with a meter stick. It would take up way too much space, and it wouldn't make sense to use a centimeter ruler to measure something large. You would need too many of them. So now we're going to be looking at this table, and we're going to be writing centimeter ruler or meter stick to describe the more appropriate tool for measuring the objects. Well, we have a yard flamingo, a cherry, a boat oar, and a butterfly. When separating these out, instead of writing the full words, you can do cm for centimeters or m for meters. When I look at the flamingo here, I'm thinking, okay, am I going to use the longer meter stick or the shorter centimeter ruler? When I saw one in person, he was taller than I thought. A lawn flamingo came up kind of to my waist, which is much taller than a centimeter ruler. So I would probably use a meter stick for that. Now when we look at a cherry is pretty small. We wouldn't really need a full meter stick, so we would just use that centimeter ruler. A boat oar, well, we know that's longer than the flamingo in the yard, so meter stick it is. And finally, the butterfly, kind of like our example with the ladybug, you would use a centimeter ruler to measure it because it is much too small for a meter stick. says Jessa planted a tree that is 600 centimeters tall. Daniel planted a tree that was 200 centimeters tall. How many centimeters taller is Jessa's tree than Daniel's tree? Well, we need to go in first and underline and pull out the important information. So let's get started with Jessa planted a 600 centimeter tall tree. I'm going to draw her tree here. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to put a J for Jessa to label it. I'm also going to show the height of that tree, which is about 600 centimeters. Next, I'm going to draw a picture of Daniel's tree after I underline that information. We know that it's 200 centimeters, and 200 smaller than 600, so labeling it D for Daniel, I'll do a smaller tree, and write its height on there. Once I have the height, I can look at what the question's asking. How many centimeters taller is Jessa's tree than Daniel's? When it says taller, we're looking for the difference. We need to compare. And when you're looking for the difference, you're going to use subtraction. So we're going to take the information, the larger number, and subtract the smaller number from it. 600 minus 200 should give us the difference. All my zeros should be 0. 6 minus 2 is 4. 400. Jessa's tree is 400 centimeters taller than Daniel's tree. On your Explore and Explain page today, you have two boxes. The first one is to put an object that you would measure with a centimeter ruler, so that's going to be a smaller object. In the second column, you're going to write what you would use a meter stick for, so something much larger. When I was thinking of things I could use a centimeter ruler on, I thought of a postage stamp. Those are pretty small, and I would only need a centimeter ruler to measure that. So I'm trying my best to draw a detailed drawing. Sometimes there's a picture on it. And then, because not everyone might know what it is, I will label it stamp. I recommend you label your pictures as well. For the meter stick, I'm thinking, well, looking at my desk, I'm probably going to measure my desk. I would use a meter stick for that. And I'm going to draw it the best I can here. And I'm going to label that as well, just in case it's not clear in the picture. So a centimeter ruler measures smaller objects, and a meter stick measures larger objects. Circle the tool that you would use to measure the lunchbox. Well, looking at that lunchbox, it looks like it could fit on one ruler alone. You wouldn't need a meter stick because there would be too many extra spaces on it and it would be harder to measure with. Use the centimeter ruler because you only need one of them. When you think about it, if you only need 1 centimeter ruler, then you're going to use the centimeter ruler. If you need more than one, that's when you need the meter stick. That being said, when we're doing our work today, you're going to be measuring some objects. And remember, if you don't have the exact object, that's okay. You can find similar ones around the house to try your best with that. You're going to tell me what tool you would use to measure it, and then about how long it is. You can use the attached centimeter rulers and meter sticks that I've attached to your lesson in Teams today to help you go around and find these objects. So I would probably measure a door frame in meters, and then with my ruler go back and find how long it is. Your door frame is going to be different than my door frame. Objects like these, try your best to find around the house. If you don't have it, you can cross it out or find something similar. It's up to you to help you measure and solve these problems. All right, second grade, you've got this. I believe in you, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.